Let Mike tweet real quick. Mike's tweeting everybody.
Tweet.
But he's not tweeting about this video.
Tweet. He's
tweeting about something that's coming out today.
Tweet. But this will be a week. No.
Oh, wait. A week from today, yeah. Yeah. Because it's Thursday, right? Yeah.
It's still a Thursday.
You're seeing us in the past.
But also, it's also Thursday.
Every picture is of you when you were younger. Mitch Hedberg, rest in peace.
R.I.P. Mitch. Why did you do the drugs you did?
3, 2, 1, throw.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy.
I'm Mike Murphy.
We are the Brothers Murph, and here's another hot top 10.
The hottest, newest top 10 we have. Because we're recording it right now.
That is so accurate.
That's right now. That's accurate.
This is going to be a list that is going to be our favorite games to play at two-player.
Indeed. This is not a list of two-player only games. This is games that can accommodate more players or less players, but we prefer them at 2 players.
Yeah, so let us know down in the comments below if you want us to make the two-player only game list, and we will make it. But this one we're talking about...
No. If we get like 500 likes on this video, we'll do
500. You want to
500 likes.
All right, so we'll do it in 10 years.
Start liking it. Just make fake accounts and like and subscribe. No, but yeah, if you want to do it, put in the comments below. We'll do it.
Indeed.
500 likes.
500 likes. And so, yes, this are games that, again, accommodate more, but we prefer at 2.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean that we, like, hate playing these games at other player counts. It's just, like, if... I do. Some are very much like, I won't play this game at another player count.
Right.
Other ones are like, we totally will, but it's like, honestly, I would prefer it at 2 if I had the choice, if I didn't have any other jabronis around to play with.
Jabrones.
You know? It's a good word. You bring back jabronis.
I know. You gotta bring back everything from early 2000s wrestling.
You jabronis hit the jackpot!
Anyway, I think we should get into this list.
Let's freaking do it. But real quick, make sure to subscribe now. Let's go ahead and click
Thumb it up now. Subscribe now because you're going to be mad by the end.
That's what we always say during top 10s. And it always,
our lists are is accurate. The very idea of making that list is like, what's invalid list? You already messed it up.
Let's hit this invalid
like and subscribe now. And also share with a friend. Text it, tweet it, whatever you got to do. Get it out there to everyone else while we get into this list right about now. It's good.
10.
So number 10, this is a game. Nick, you know what? Sometimes we're chaotic people.
Oh, it's so unfortunate.
We thrive in the chaos at times.
It's such a dumb,
You want to be chaotic. You want to play a game that reflects your inner personality. But sometimes there's such a thing as too much chaos.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes it's just too much.
It's too crazy.
And in a game like Kitchen Rush, chaos reigns supreme no matter what you do.
It's true.
But at 2 players, it's a little bit easier to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I need to get fish. You got to do that. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do it. Like, and then it begins and goes crazy. With 3 or 4 people, I mean, you have more spaces available, but like
but not that many more.
But like, it also ramps up the difficulty, and it's already hard enough. I'm like, I can't. It's impossible at 2. Yes. I cannot see it becoming easier with more literally cooks in the kitchen.
No, we've played like 3. I don't know if we ever played it 4, but even with 3, adding that one extra person was just like, oh my gosh, it was so much more stress. Because we're both screaming at the top of our lungs.
And we're not going to change.
No, we're not going to change. We refuse to. Our mother keeps telling us to. We won't.
I'm not going to do it, Mom.
And so it's just like, it's one of those things where it's, you add more people, and it's like, it's number 10, because we're like, you know what, sometimes we may be like, you know what, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just sacrifice a goat. We don't get crazy tonight.
You know, it's like every time.
Yeah, exactly. So for the most part, Kitchen Rush is best at 2 because it's insane anyway. If you watch any of our streams, we scream constantly.
Yeah.
And it's just, I can't handle it with more. It's just nuts. A lot of real-time games can kind of fall under this category of being like, I just can't handle this. Yeah. Like Fuse could have replaced this because I'm like, it's just so insane. But Kitchen Rush particularly, because you need to do specific things. It's just, it's a little much at more than 2.
Yeah. It's a tricky one, but I quite like it.
I love it.
And at 2, it's really, really fun. So that is our number 10. Let's get up into number 9.
I feel like number 9 is going to upset people.
Oh, yeah. Right away, people are going to be screaming,
Illegal!
But Purple Sticky Punch.
Okay.
It's a joke we've definitely made in another top 10.
It just works. It works. The thing I like, that's from Biodome. The thing I like is we're like, oh, but no one knows. And everyone's just like, that's my wife and I's favorite movie. And I'm like, yes! Anyway, this one's gonna make people mad.
Number 9 is 5 Tribes. I like it at 2. It's fine at 3 and 4, but like it's 1, get rid of the bidding in any situation. I understand it's more strategic with the bidding. I get it. Who cares?
I don't necessarily agree if you're playing at higher player counts, but guess what? I'm not going to play at higher player counts.
I'm not. I just go in turn order. Just go around. Go. I understand it's more strategic because you can go twice and you can do more. I don't care. It bogs down the game, and even with more players, it bogs down the game. I like it at 2.
In 2 player,
it's just like
it really. It just slows down what is like. I just want to do the puzzle part with the Mancala.
Yeah.
That's the part I care about. I just like to, I can make this move over here. I'm really bad at that game, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, totally. And with 2, it's just you get to go more often, and it's just, I don't know, it just flows better, especially with the whole back and forth. Like, I take a turn, you take a turn. I take a turn, you take a turn. We just go back and forth, and you just get lost in the puzzle. You just get to, and there's not all this other stuff going on, and there's all these Jins going on, and it's just, I don't know, I like it at 2. We both like it at 2. Yeah, it's fine at other player counts, but like honestly, if I had the choice, I would play it at 2, you know, and it's at number 9 because like, you know, it's fine at 3, it's fine at 4.
But I still prefer it at 2.
But like, I prefer it at 2. I think it's a really, that's what this list is. But I don't know. I think you're dead right. It's just like it just increases the flow of the game, and it lets you where you can just like focus on the puzzle. And also on top of that, like 5 Tribes is a game that can be somewhat AP prone. And one of the main issues is because you take your turn, and a lot of times in any other game, I'm like, plan your turn during other people's turns. Yeah. But the problem with 5 Tribes is tough because the board can look wildly different by the time it gets back to your turn. Yeah. And with 2 players, it limits that. Yeah. Because it's like there's only so much that can change, and you having to adapt your plan because you're like, oh, I was gonna go take those those scientists or whatever. You're like, okay, well I can go do this instead. It's not like, man, literally the 3 things I want to do are gone now, and everything's moved. Yeah. I need to figure out. It's like none of that. Just get it out of there. 2 players is where 5 Tribes, in my opinion, is the best.
It's where it lives. It's where it should live. It's great. It's a great game, period. But 2 is just super fun, going back and forth turns. If you want to have like an initial bidding to see who's first player in the game, sure, go ahead and do that. Then leave it be. Just go bap. And then leave it be. But anyway, that's number 9. Let's get up to number 8 now.
Let's do it.
So, number 8 is a game that purely, I think, no, it's not just purely time. Time's a big factor. With a lot of these, we like them at 2-player because you can zip through it quicker.
Yes.
And I don't mean it's because I want to get the game over. It's like I get a head of steam going, and then like my brain's working, and I get excited by that. So number 8 for me, for us, is Great Western Trail.
Indeed.
Now, this is a game that is big, fun. You're on this kind of rondelle. You're going around and around and around. And it can be, it's never a short game, period.
No.
But like with 3 and 4 player games, I mean, it's a 3-hour game easy because there's a lot to think about and stuff. And I feel like with those higher player counts, there's a lot of things that just slow down the game. Namely, the buildings. Now, I like the buildings in Great Western Trail, but it's the part of the game that I've been like the least intrigued by in the many times we've played it.
Yeah, I agree.
And so when you have like more players and stuff, you can move faster and stuff. That's part of it. But also there's more buildings, and you get into like the cutthroat ones. It's like, you gotta pay to come past here, young man. And like, I'm like, okay, it just
have to pay.
Yeah, it just gunks up the works. And I'm like, I just, for me, it's a cool different element, but it's not cool enough to warrant it being like 3+ hours.
I agree. It doesn't add.
Like, it's not that cool.
It doesn't add. I'm sure people will disagree, but it doesn't add enough to like the experience. Because that's sometimes like, oh yeah, but at higher player counts in the longer game, the experience is so much better. And in this case, we don't think that's necessarily true.
No,
I think it's fine. Like we've played it at 3 or 4 players a lot. Like we've played it multiple times.
And if you play with a bunch of people that know the game really well, it can still be pretty speedy.
True, but even then, it's just like I don't know.
It just gets so slow.
The game extends quite a bit, but that doesn't necessarily make the game better. It doesn't necessarily make it like horrendously worse, but it's like if I can choose it to be the same kind of experience but shorter, I will. You know, and it's just
We've had so many like 2-player games of it that have felt like very like satisfying still.
Yeah. Oh,
you can
100%.
do all the different strategies and stuff. Like none of them don't work in 2-player. They totally do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything
No.
by playing it 2-player. So I'd rather just do that.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's nothing. I like the game at 3. I like the game at 4. But like, if I had a choice, I'd play it at 2. It's just faster. It's funner, and it's not as it's not as bogged down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds bogged down.
It's boggy. You're going through a bog. You know, you go through the right part of the board.
West. The plains are open. It's nice. You should be able to gallop at full speed.
We're not in the Everglades.
No.
It's not the Great Western Everglades. Good joke, Nick.
It's not Croctown, USA.
Croctown, yes.
Let's get it number 7, man. Speaking of Crocs. Because Carcassonne. What's number 7, Nick?
So it's Carcassonne. Carcassonne, here's another one that, like, I've played this game a lot. And I've played this game, and this could really be any Carcassonne, but we'll just go ahead and say base, normal Carcassonne.
Still the best.
It really is. I love just no expansions. Just base Carcassonne is the best way to play it. I don't care what anybody says. But it's just like, here's the reason why we picked Carcassonne for this one and why it's number 7 is because it's just satisfying to be able to score so many points.
Yeah.
You know, it's
you don't gotta
like,
share points with nearly as many people.
Yeah, because the tiles in the game, so Carcassonne, it's a tile laying game if you don't know it. And it's like the how many tiles you use in the game doesn't change for the player count.
Yeah.
So if you're playing with 5 players, it's gonna be a lot lower scoring game, which is totally fine. It works great with 5 players, there's no problem. But with 2 players, you're literally getting half of the tiles.
It's so good.
And it's so much fun because you can just build these giant, like 30, 40 point cities.
Yeah, you
and
can just
like,
go for something insane.
just these insanely long roads. It's just like, it just makes the game so much fun because of the fact that, like, I played the other night with David, and it was just like, it's just so fun to being like, okay, if I put this city piece here, it is going to make it exponentially more difficult to close out this city. Because, like, if I put, it's like one of the 3-sided ones, you're like, I'm going to have to bring this all the way around, but you're like,
I can do it.
It's 2 players. I got time. Yeah. I can make this happen. I can make this work. And then you do it, and you just get these insane, like 12 shields, and it's just like
so awesome.
It's so much fun. And it's 100% just because it's so satisfying to score so many points. It's great at 3, 4, 5. One of the reasons why if/when we ever do a top 10 games that scale well, Carcassonne will be on there because it doesn't really change much. The main reason why I like it at 2 is because it's so fun to I want all the points. I want points. Every single point I can get.
1,000 points.
And it's just bananas, and I love Carcassonne at 2 for that reason.
Boom, Carcassonne's a good one, man.
It's just all the points, biggest cities on the planet.
It's not quicker, it's not any different. Yeah. It's just...
Though I will say, this is not true for every Carcassonne, real quick, because we have Carcassonne Amazonas.
That's true.
And that's a game, because Carcassonne Amazonas has you're racing down a river as well. And that one doesn't work nearly as well at 2, because the race down the river, you need 3 or 4 or 5 people to make it compelling.
You do want it to be a bigger...
And so not every version of Carcassonne, we're talking about base Carcassonne, give me all the cities, I want a giant city.
That's all I want. And you can build a little river in there so you can think you're in the Amazon all at the same time.
Exactly.
But that is number 7. Let's do number 6. Number 6 is a little game, very light and fun, and I've actually discovered that I quite like it best at 2 because it kind of makes it a little like more to think about, and that is, hey, that's my fish.
Hey, Jerry.
This is a little game where
that's my cod.
Listen here. You think you're going for that albacore? You're crazy.
Freaking crazy, Jim.
Jim the penguin. Hey, that's my fish. You have all these little tiles, and there's fish on them. And the way it works is wherever you have one of your penguins, you can move in a straight line to a new tile. Whatever tile you left is the fish you collect. And so we're kind of like breaking up into islands and stuff, and the ice flows.
It's very sad. It's all about climate change.
It's very sad. It's all about climate change. It's very sad. Wrath cried about it.
It's true.
And with different player counts, you have different penguins, which are your little pawns you move around. So in a 2-player game, you have 4 of those penguins around. So I like it at 2 because you have more of your pieces to consider. You're like, do I want to like make sure everyone's kind of doing something and try to like move like this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, or I'm like, this guy over here, I'm just gonna forget them. They're gone. They're not gonna do much.
It's a sacrificial land.
They're gonna hopefully make an island. They can just collect the little fish on their island and they're done. And I focus on these other 3. How do I block you? There's just more pieces to consider and more for your opponent as well. Like, how do I block this person? Oh, this penguin might come over here. So there's actually a little bit more to think about for me.
Because it's 3 penguins for 3 players, 2 for 4?
Yeah. So, it's that shift and stuff. And I just like having more penguins of my own.
Yeah, I agree.
To consider, like, what do I do with them, And, like, again, do I have that sacrificial pawn or whatever? And so it's just taking a light game. It doesn't make it really complicated, but I just think that there's a little more strings you can pull in the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. So I really like it at 2 players. For that reason. It's just a really cool and also just fun little light game.
Yeah, I agree. It's great. Hey, that's my fish.
Hey, that's my fish. Hey! We're in the top half of the top 10 now with number 5.
Blitzing this one.
Crushing it! Let's do it! Go drink some more coffee. So what's number 5, Nick?
Number 5 is going to be a game that is...
Wait, it's going to be a board game?
It could really be either of these games, but we're going to go ahead and say King Domino. It could be Queen Domino as well.
I agree with King Domino more.
I agree, and that's why it's on our list instead of Queen. Queen Domino is a tile-laying game, one of the Spiel des Jahres by Brukes Katukels.
Brukes and Katukes, man. 2 Brookies on this list so far.
We got 2 Brukes? Oh yeah, 5 tribes of the Brukels and Katukels. Bruno Catala, great designer.
Incredibly French.
Yeah, it's so French. It's astonishing.
He was
how French
born
he is.
with brie in his hand.
Yes, exactly.
Just a nice rounded brie.
Exactly. It was very nice. So French, so lovely. A lovely person. We've met him. He's great. Be jealous. But King Domino is a great game, a tile laying game, kind of like Dominoes, where you're matching different types of terrain.
Yeah.
And the reason why we preferred it too is because you in the game, so each domino has 2 different sides, and you're building a 5x5 grid in the game. You can only build a 5x5 grid.
Yep.
But with 2 players, you then get to use all of the tiles in the game, and you get to build a 7x7 grid, because you can then have enough tiles to make the game work that way. And it is so much fun and so much more difficult to build a 7x7 grid, because the way dominoes is and the way it works, you can essentially box yourself out where you can't complete a perfect 5x5 grid.
Like, this is a square that's only 1, not 2. Like, there's no way to fix this because it's like the top corner or whatever.
And in King Domino with 2 players with the 7x7 grid, it's just, again, talk about like satisfying scoring points, because you can just have these massive swaths of land, because you get points generally how bigger the land mass. If you have a lot of swamp in one area, you're going to get more for that region than you would if it's like a tiny little swamp. Yeah. And so in a 7x7 grid, you can build these big areas. It's very satisfying in terms of points. But then the puzzle, talking about 5 tribes as well, the puzzle is more fun too, because you're constantly trying to be like, okay, these are the options I have. Okay, I'm going to do this. I can put this one over here. Yeah. The game doesn't really extend, even though you're building a bigger one, because you're getting 2 tiles per turn. So it's just really satisfying. It's really fun. The puzzle, in our opinion, is more interesting and more kind of grandiose.
Especially when you're first starting, you're like, okay, I think I'm going to keep my castle in the middle and stuff. So you have to, like, in an abstract way, like, picture, like, 3 spaces this way, 2 up this way, 4 down. It's really, you can mess it up fast.
Yeah,
like,
it could get.
You won't know until later. You're like, I see what I did.
Oh, I messed up horrendously.
I get it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's really great at all counts. Again, a game that scales really well, but at 2, it's fun being able to just have just a massive grid, and trying to work out that puzzle is really, really satisfying. And that's why it is our number 5. We really, really like it, but really like it at 2.
Boom. That's a good one. Yeah, and if you combine King Domino and Queen Domino, you have enough tiles to then play at any player count at the 7 grid, which is rad. With Queen Domino, I kind of like playing at higher player counts, just because there's like the buying stuff.
No, I agree.
So it's a little more compelling that way. But King Domino, go 2, go big. It's a fun, difficult puzzle. It can be legitimately hard to do right. Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah.
Let's do number 4.
Let's.
So number 4, we got to get this out of the way. This is our fault. We have
Yes.
created a situation
1000%
where we are stuck.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm sure everyone, put in the comments below if you've had something like this happen. So number 4 is legendary.
We're just too good.
We're too good at it. We played it so much. It's, at least for physical games, it's a game we've played more than any other game.
Yeah, by far.
It will stay that way for some time, I imagine. And the problem is, we played so much of it so fast. We got so familiar with all the cards.
Yeah.
Pretty much at any hero we can just pull up a card and instantly remember, oh, that's what this does. Okay, don't even have to read the text anymore. Yeah. We know what's going on. We created a system where we don't want to play with someone who doesn't know the game to the level we know it, because it will slow it down, where Nick and I go boom, boom, and there's, I wonder all my turn, and then which is their right to figure out what their cards do so they can use them well. Then we're like boom, boom, and it takes a while. And it's like, and it's like, and I'm like, yeah. And so we kind of are in this pickle now. It's like we kind of have to play it together and 2-player, because we can then just go fast. We go real fast when we play. Yeah. Because we know exactly what's going on. I'm going to do this. Okay, boom, you're going to do it. And it's just, I can't sit back and be like,
If we had a third who... I would never want to play it 4 anyway, but if we had a third who knew the game as well as us, fine. But otherwise, I'm like, I just want to play it with us two as fast as humanly possible. Yeah.
And like, that's not a fair thing. It's... I will say, like you said... Max for this game, period, whether or not you know it, I wouldn't go more than 3. It just gets long. It gets real long. There's a lot of cards that have to shuffle and stuff. It's a big
wait
setup,
for your turn forever.
Takedown. Yeah. You wait forever. You can kind of check out. 3 if you want to, but then like 2, no matter what, it's just fun to play at. It's really fun to play at. And especially with what we've created, we have to play at it. We just got to do it. Legendary, got to be 2. That's our number 4.
Yeah.
That's it.
I do love it. Yeah, it's gotta you gotta be in the know.
So you gotta be in the club. If you created a situation for yourself where you play the game so much with certain people that you just can't play it with other people,
this is your fault.
Matthew Jude talked about that with Railways of the World. He only wants to play with Dan Hughes. Do you have a situation like that? Put them in the comments below, because this is one for us. I'm just like, sorry, you should have been here in the beginning. I'm sorry you weren't, but
you weren't in our lives.
Now we're in it now, so
you're not allowed anymore. So let's do number 3 then.
Let's do number 3, man. Let's do number 3. Quit being douchebags.
D-bag deluxe.
D-bag alert. Douche. Okay.
Number 3 for us is going to be a game that I will say, and some people are going to be like, erroneous, or whatever, but it's just like, we have not played this at anything other than 2.
Indeed.
But I'm going to go ahead and say I have no interest in playing this other than 2. And this is a game called Gloomhaven. It's a big box up there that glares like crazy, and it's annoying.
There's no way around it.
It just hits every light.
I think it's made of mirror material.
Oh my gosh, it's annoying. But nonetheless, Gloomhaven is a great game. It's number 1 on BGG. Everyone loves it, and so do we. It's wonderful. But here's the thing about Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is a big game, long game. There's so much stuff going on. We've only ever played it at 2, so I can't definitively say, well, it should be this high on your list. I don't care. I have no interest in playing this game solo, ever. And I have no interest in ever playing this game with more than 2. With 2, it just seems like it flows well. Like, other people are like, no, it's good at 3 and 4. And I'm like, it feels like it'd be way too long, because there's way more enemies if you have 3 and 4.
Yes.
And then you have more people to do their turn. It just feels like it's too much. With 2, it just feels like such a good flow. And I know a lot of people play this like with their husbands or wives or whatever. It always just feels like it's a great 2-player game. Mm-hmm. And again, it's a game where you also get to really know the other character, and like, I know what Mike's good at. I know what Mike's strengths are, and you can figure that out in 3 and 4 as well. It's not that many more, but with 2, you just get this like
a buddy cop movie.
Yeah, it's just you get this symbiotic
relationship.
Yeah, that's the word I'm trying to look for. Symbiotic words. Osmosis.
You're looking for
Osmosis Jones,
the symbiote suit that Spider-Man gets, right?
Yes.
There's a part in Gloomhaven where you get the symbiotic.
That's
very sweet.
The symbiotic relationship just becomes so nice and so good. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, and you start getting this like back and forth, this kind of rope-a-dope between you.
Flip over your head and stab this dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's just you get this again. It's like you're just vibing, and I feel that would work so well with 2. And the fact that it's already kind of a longish game with 3 and 4, I just feel like that dance that you can do with each other would be harder to pull off. And I mean, you could probably do it solo, but I want to play with another person.
The other thing I gotta say is the reality of it's difficult to get people on the same schedule.
Yeah.
And so if you're playing at 3 or 4, like, are you going to be able to meet consistently for sure to go through something that's big and long? And I'm like, I would hate for someone to be like, come in the middle or leave early. I mean, I'm like,
and you can, but it's just like, it doesn't
like with 2, it's like, I know when I'm going to see this guy, so we know we can play at least at certain intervals and get through this thing, and then at the end we have a story that like, oh, remember that thing we did this thing and this one point way back in, and so it just seems like it'd be easier to get through that story to get that gratifying experience at 2 players.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. It's we have not tried it at another player count, and I have zero interest in it. No. I like Gloomhaven at 2. It seems to work best at 2, and we're probably gonna keep it there.
That's where it's gonna stay.
Yeah,
and you
deal with it,
and that's it.
Deal with it, fam. Okay.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments below, speaking of, if you played it at higher player counts and stuff, and how do you like it? You know, is it like this cool party that you have going and stuff like that? So we'd love to know. But anyway, that's number 3, is it?
Yeah, let's do number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2. Do it, Mike. Hurry.
All right, number 2 is a classic by Stefan Feld. It's Castles of Burgundy.
Yeah. Now, this is one I feel like most people agree with us on.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's this weird thing of it's a 2 to 4 player game. It does play good at all player counts, but like it's routinely near the top of everyone's best at 2 player list. I think it even says on the box like great 2 player game.
Yeah, it's great at 2. I think on BGG it's like best at 2. It's like
no, it literally is. It's listed as they say ideal player counts best at 2 player. And the first couple times we played was at higher player counts, and I was just like, is it? And then we played, and I'm like, oh, it is.
Yeah.
Like, and I think
why is it though? Like, I mean, because it is faster, and that's true. But it's like, what is it that is it? I think the flow is better.
I think the flow is better. I think, and you'll see this with our number 1 as well. With a 2 player game, you get all of the contention for tiles that you would in a 3 or 4 player game, with less of the kind of chaos. You know, with a lot of these things, the thing that sucks is if you're player 1 of 4, by the time it comes back around to you, the 3 your first, second, and third choice tiles might be gone, and you're like, okay, well now I gotta think this whole thing through, and it kind of stops the flow.
Yeah.
With a 2 player game, you might have 2 or 3 choices of what you're trying to do, and like one of them will be available.
Yeah.
And stuff, but like the thing that you really need is still just as likely to get taken because it scales down. There's many fewer tiles available in a 2 player game, so it keeps all of the kind of angst over getting things while keeping the flow going and just keeping it moving. And so it's just one of those things that like I feel like nothing gets lost because it scales perfectly. Nothing gets lost by shrinking it down to 2 player, and what you gain is a speed and a flow of the game, you know, that I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things that I can't even like put a really compelling reason other than that flow and speed.
It's just better.
It's just better at 2. Like it just works really well at 2. It works good at 3 and 4 as well because again it scales up and down perfectly with the amount of tiles that are available. But I'm just like, I mean, even with the app, like
I still play 2
player. I play 2 player games on the app, and like the app, the computer goes really fast. I'm like, no, I still want to play 2 player.
Yeah, I know. I was just want to say the exact. I still play 2 player. The app.
It's a great app, by the way.
It is
great. It literally looks better than the normal game. Yeah. That might change when the deluxe one comes out, but they have like cool 3D tiles and stuff. Super cool looking.
Yeah, it's great.
And I still played it too.
Yeah.
So, and I suck at it, man. I can't beat the level 2.
I think I beat it like once. I'm not very good at it.
So hard.
Yeah.
I thought it was good that game. Apparently I'm not.
Apparently not.
Anyway, number 2 is Castles of Burgundy. So let's get into. There's one for our money. It's a little bit better at 2 than Castles of Burgundy.
All right, here we are to the number 1. This is the one where it's like this one is purely speed, and it just
speed and flow,
any other player count. It just slows down too much, and it's just like you don't need. And this is Grand Austria Hotel. Grand Austria Hotel is, in our opinion, the game that's best at 2. You know, it's like a lot of these games scale well. Grand Austria Hotel, in my opinion, kind of doesn't. Like it's just, because one of the main reasons is because one, it's just there's more people doing more actions, but one of the main things is it's a snake draft.
Yeah.
So essentially,
super cool.
Yeah, which is a great idea, but essentially, everyone gets 2 actions, and if you're first, it'll go. You'll be first and 8th, so it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So the person who's 4, and 5 will get to go twice in a row. Mm-hmm. So, but if you're first, you get the first crack at something, but then you're also 8th, and you just get the dregs. And it's just like, if you're first and 8th, you're like, all right, cool, go, and then you're just waiting for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then finally you get to do something else. And it's just, and your turns are,
And it's a brutal game.
Yes.
It's a brutal game.
It's such a hard game in the first place.
You are struggling to make decisions. And also, I'll say it's a bit of a fiddly game.
Yeah.
Because on each of your turns, meaning each die you take, and you have 2 turns in a round, essentially, you can potentially get a new customer.
Yeah.
So you have to pull down a customer, then you have to shift the things over and get a new thing out. And they do that. Then 2 does that. Then 3 does that. Then 4 does that. Then 4 does that again. And then 3 does that. And just so there's all this. And then you get your die. And then maybe I'm going to play an employee down. I'm going to do all these things. And so it's like there's a lot of stuff you can do. And each of those things is a pretty like, but I need strudel. There's a lot of that in the game. And so when you get to 4 players, I'm like, it comes to a halt.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
it
does.
Absolutely stops.
Like you said, the game is brutal. It's just so
which
hard to get what you need.
It's my favorite thing about
it.
that.
I love it. But it's like if you're playing with 2 players, this game is like 30 minutes. It's quick with 2 players because you just go whoop, whoop, and you're good, and whoop, whoop, and then you're good.
And you get all that brutality, all of the
in less the time with less of just the chuffa. Just get the chuffa out. It's like exactly the feel of it is exactly the same, even better. Again, kind of talking about like 5 tribes back at number 9. It's like it's also tough because if you're first in 8, by the time the board gets back around to you is like complete. You're never going to get. You're just stuck with garbage essentially, like because everything good has been taken already. So you're just kind of like, okay, I'm going to get first crack. But going first is not that. Honestly, the best place to be is 4 and 5 because you get to go twice in a row. Yeah. And so it's just this weird. It works, but it's like I played it too.
I play that game at 3 if everyone like is familiar with all the things, and because that's one thing that even. We've played the game a bunch, and I still have to have that reference sheet for the employees and stuff, and the different, there's a few different cards. I have to have that on me all the time. I look up stuff constantly. So that's the other thing you're doing, because the iconography is like decent, but for whatever reason, just like doesn't stick in my head.
Not very intuitive,
like a lot of people doesn't stick in your head. So now you're passing that thing around to more people and stuff. I'd play 3 at the max.
If people knew what they're doing,
If people knew the game and stuff, because like even if we know the game, we still have to look up stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a great game that. It's kind of its greatness only shows if you're doing it certain ways.
It's 2-player.
I love that game, but for us it's 2-player, man.
2-player all the way.
Pretty much that's the only way I want to play.
Yeah, and so that is our number 1 Grand Austrian Hotel. Great game. Try it out, but try it at 2. It is so good at 2. Yeah, it's okay at everything. The player count.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so that is our list of our top 10 games that play best at 2 players. Yeah. Again, not 2-player only games. If you want that list or any other top 10 list you want us to do, put it down in the comments below.
Thumb it up.
And give us a thumb up while you're there and subscribe to us. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by August. It'd be very difficult, but we want to go ahead and give it a shot. And so give us a subscription if you haven't already.
Indeed. Thank you so much for everything, everyone, for all the continued support. If you like what we do and want to see us do more of it, you can check out our Patreon. There's links in the description of this video for that. Consider giving today. We have really cool stuff that we have in the works already as it is, and you can help be a part of the awesome Bing Bong community, man. You can follow us on Discord and all sorts of stuff. Go check out Patreon for more, and watch us live stream some of these games at some point.
Over on Twitch,
Over on Twitch. That's it for us, folks. Have a great day. Don't forget to share this video, and let us know your favorite games to play at 2 players in those comments below. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hello. I want to let you know that we have a Patreon and that you should check it out. There will be a button somewhere around here probably that you can click to help out the brothers Murph. Click the Patreon. Do it.
Also got to let you know that we're sponsored by Restoration Games and by Game Toppers. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to upgrade your gaming experience. Look at that label. It's beautiful. Do it. Do it right now. I hate you. I'm sorry. I love you.